Eddie can address it a little bit more in detail, is that the ticket sales go officially on sale to the public tomorrow and are expected to sell out within 1 day. So it's been a huge response to the fight. We have to give Kell Brook a lot of credit for taking the fight. Eddie knows he's gone through a lot of the same struggles that I've gone through with Gennady getting opponents for him. And when the fight, as everyone knows, with Eubank kind of unraveled, we were able to put this fight together literally within 2 days. And just massive respect for Kell Brook. He's the best welterweight champion in the world. He's undefeated, 36-0. Gennady's best middleweight champion in the world, undefeated, 35-0. So when you have two of the best in their class, undefeated champions fighting each other, that's what the fans react to, and that's what the expectations of boxing are, is the best fighting the best. And this is clearly the case. Eddie's put on a great show, a great undercard. He's announced some great fights since this announcement. And we just announced yesterday, as a split site on HBO, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez versus Carlos Cuadras at the Forum. So it's going to be a great night of boxing, September 10th. With that, I'd like to bring up Eddie Hearn, who can say a few words on behalf of Matchroom, and then he can introduce Adam Smith.
Oh, thank you. I've come a long way. Thank you, Howard. Thank you very much, Tom. As always, a few thank yous, and I know that it's going through the motions, but without thank yous to these people, of course, this wouldn't be possible. To Tom Loeffler, you face the same struggles as me, trying to get opponents for the best fighter in their weight division. It's frustrating, it's difficult, it's expensive, and I'm so pleased that we managed to put this deal together so quickly, so efficiently, and at speed and at pace, and we can't wait for this event. To HBO, it's a pleasure to be working with you on this show. You're going to love the atmosphere and the intensity in London. Great Britain right now is the epicenter for world boxing. We have 13 world champions, and I think right here is our pound-for-pound #1 in Great Britain right now. To Sky Sports, our host broadcaster, and Adam Smith, thanks for making the trip today. Along with us, you know, we've really changed the face of British boxing, and we're in a great place right now, and we're moving from strength to strength. In terms of our side and our charge, Kell Brook, probably one of the first fighters that I signed as a promoter, and we've been waiting for a night like this for a long, long time. We looked at unification clashes in the 147-pound division. We offered fighters, champions, so-called challengers, millions of dollars to come and fight Kell Brook, and all we received really was silence and bluster. So now, to be a great, you have to do something great. And just like Kell Brook's heroes, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, welterweight world champions who moved up and won world middleweight titles, these are the kind of things you have to do to be remembered, to be a great fighter. Kell Brook is a great fighter. Here you have the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in my opinion. And right next to him, you have another pound-for-pound great fighter in the world in Kell Brook. This is 71-0, 36-0 against 35-0. Two of the very best fighters in world boxing. The demand has been huge. The pre-sale over the last two days, around half the arena, sold out within 4 or 5 minutes. We have the final 8,000 or 9,000 going on sale tomorrow in the UK, and they're going to go within minutes as well. Gennady, you're going to love the atmosphere in London. Trust me, you know, you've got a big fan base there as well. It's a great fight, and respect to both men for taking on this challenge. I think boxing is the winner here as these two great world champions face off at the O2 Arena on September the 10th on Sky Sports Box Office and HBO. And one part of that jigsaw gives me great pleasure to introduce our host broadcaster for the event, and that's the head of boxing for Sky Sports, Adam Smith.
Thanks. Hi, everybody. Just coming through Manhattan, and in fact, when we were filming Kell at Heathrow earlier today, reminded me of when Prince Nassim Hamid came over in 1997 and had that epic fight with Kevin Kelly. What a build-up, what a dramatic fight as we went past Madison Square Garden. And I agree with Eddie that the epicenter might have changed slightly. British boxing is absolutely buzzing, but there's no place like New York. So it's great to be here, and I'm really, really excited about this fight. We've watched Gennady Golovkin for many years, and it'll be a pleasure to welcome him to London. He has a huge fan base there and many admirers, people around the offices at Sky, very excited to see one of, if not the pound-for-pound fighter of recent years come over. A perfect record, as we know, but a perfect record too for this man, Kell Brook. And we've been following Kell since he was a young boy at 9, 10 years old, and he was in Dominic's gym in Winkerbank. And we've been following his journey. And I really believe that Kell Brook will come of age on September the 10th, and this is the sort of challenge he's always really relished. Yes, he went and won the World Welterweight title in Carson against Sean Porter. He's had defenses of that, but this is a real opportunity. Opportunity knocks. This is what boxing's all about, taking risks, taking a gamble. And it was a great twist, wasn't it? Chris Eubank Jr. was going to be in. That didn't work out. In steps Kell. I think it took seconds for him to say, yes, I want Golovkin. People are running from Gennady. I'm going to run towards him. This is what we want in boxing. It's going to be a fabulous build-up and a great night, September the 10th at the O2. Do not miss it. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. We're really excited to have Sky as a host broadcaster, as Eddie had mentioned. I just want to thank a few of the people on our side. Actually, Brand Jordan, who were gracious enough to host this press conference. Their main sponsor of Gennady's. He's very proud to be part of the Jordan family, and being able to have the press conference here in New York City in Terminal 23 is really a treat for this event. HBO has been the Gennady's broadcaster since he made his debut here in the United States. And because of the HBO platform, September 2012, when he made his debut, and since then, almost 4 years later, he's become one of the biggest stars and most marketable stars in the sport of boxing. And we couldn't be happier with the cooperation that we've had from HBO. You see all the world titles here on display for Gennady. He just received the WBC belt officially last Saturday in Mexico City. It's taken really the whole team so much time and so much effort to collect these titles. And if he has one bad night on September 10th, Kell Brook is going to be the biggest star in boxing. And that's what really makes this fight so compelling. There's so much on the line in this fight, two undefeated champions fighting each other. It just kind of shows you how small the world of boxing is. When Adam had referred to Kevin Kelly and Nassim Hamed, I was actually managing Kevin Kelly at the time. Harold Letterman knows that back in the days here at MSG. And that was a fantastic fight. Unfortunately, Kevin came up on the short end, but I think he knocked down Hamed 4 times in the process. But it was a great fight, and all the expectations for this fight are the same. So with that, I'd like to bring up, on behalf of HBO Sports, Kevin Flaherty.
Thank you very much. I'm pinch hitting for Peter Nelson, who is on vacation, so you probably won't need to reach for the dictionary. Anyway, on behalf of HBO and Peter Nelson, we really want to thank Tom and the Sky folks, Tom and Tom, for putting this all together. This is a tremendous fight. We're excited to be part of it. As stated, Golovkin has been part of the HBO family for a long time now, which seems longer, but his accomplishments in the short period of time has just been phenomenal. We want to very much thank Cal for stepping up, not only stepping up to take the fight, but moving up to make the fight possible. So for that, we can't be more excited. September 10th is also going to be a fantastic night for boxing fans. We come on the air at 5:30 live from the O2 Arena, and we know what the atmosphere is like for there because we've been there before. We've also worked with Sky, who's been a tremendous partner and bringing fantastic fights to the world and the United States. We come on it live at 5 o'clock, 5:30, and then at 10 o'clock, as Tom had mentioned, we're going to go out to the West Coast with Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez versus Carlos Quandras, thank you, from the legendary LA Forum. So for us, it can't get any better. We have 4 undefeated fighters, 2 great fights, 2 world-class arenas on 2 different continents, 5 hours apart, 8 time zones different, and all on HBO. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a great fight, by the way. Gonzalez against Quadras. Great fight. Behind every great fighter is a great trainer, and I think we have 2 great trainers up here today. Abel Sanchez, who's masterminded, along with Tom, the career of Gennady Golovkin, and of course Dominic Ingle, who's been with Kell Brook throughout his great history with the Ingle family over the years in the gym in Sheffield. Of course, Nazim Hamed, Johnny Nelson, Junior Witter, and I personally believe that Kell Brook is the best of all of them. So a few words from a trainer I'd like you to welcome up to the stage, trainer of Kell Brook, Dominic Ingle.
I'd like to say, for the first time in a long time, Kell Brook is going into a fight as a massive, massive underdog. That's not happened for quite a while. He's going up 2 weight divisions to fight, with no doubt whatsoever, the most feared man in boxing, Gennady Golovkin, pound for pound, unified world champion. These fighters, Canelos and Mayweathers, nobody wants a part of this guy. And, he must be in the same position as Kell Brook, where he's relishing a challenge. And we're in that position. Kell Brook has got plenty of ambition. And if he wants to be the fighter that, he tells everybody he's going to be, beating Gennady Golovkin is the fight that he's got to win. And it's not an impossible task. Fighters have done it in the past and become great fighters. Kell Brook wants to become that great fighter. Gennady Golovkin is that great fighter. And on September the 10th, for me, this is going to be the fight of 2016. This is going to eclipse the Amir Khan fights, the big fights what are left of this year. I don't see anything bigger. And Kell Brook is going to relish the challenge. He's always relished the challenge. And I'm sure on September the 10th, it's going to be a fantastic night. Thank you.
With that, I'd like to introduce a few people on the Triple G team. I'd like to recognize Oleg Herman, who's here. He's been with Gennady for a number of years in Germany, and he's really been the chief support for Gennady, not only on the business side, but also on the friendship side. The Triple G team is really more of a family than a business relationship, and it's I couldn't be prouder to work with everyone involved in the team. What they've accomplished, all the struggles, going through the first promoter in Germany, having to go through, get out of that contract, and then coming here to the States. Gennady many times, fought for virtually nothing just to defend his titles and to show that he's still, the best, or to prove that he's the best middleweight in the world. And now he's finally at that stage. And the mastermind behind his training, and I'd like, I say the Mad Professor up in Big Bear, California, where he has the famous Summit boxing gym. A trainer of the year for last year. I think he's been trainer of the year for many years. I'd like to introduce Dr. Abel Sanchez.
First of all, indulge me for a second here. I'd like to wish my father a happy birthday. He would have been 91 today. Second of all, our prayers and thoughts are with Ben Lira, a very good friend of mine, a very important part of our team who lost his youngest son yesterday. Now to the business at hand. About 4 years ago to the day, I had the privilege of sharing the ring with who I believe are the 2 best trainers in the world, and that's Dom and his father, Brendan. We fought a young, inexperienced Kell Brook. Kell Brook beat my fighter that night. I look forward to matching wits and strategies again with the 2 best trainers in the UK, and hopefully this fight lives up to what all these previous smaller guy moving up to a bigger guy fights have given us, as Ray Leonard and Hagler, Tito and Hopkins, De La Hoya and Hopkins. Hopefully this is the kind of fight that we all remember for a long time. Thank you very much.
As we move on to the fighters now, and to introduce our charge, as I said, a man who we signed when we began in the boxing promotion game many years ago, and have enjoyed taking him from the small arenas up to defeating Sean Porter in his backyard in Carson for the IBF welterweight title, to filling arenas in Sheffield, the O2 Arena in London, and now being involved in one of the biggest fights in world boxing. 36-0. The #1 welterweight in the world, ranked #1 with a Ring magazine, the current IBF welterweight world champion, Kell Brook.
Thank you. It's great to be in New York today, promoting my fight with Golovkin. You know, this I've looked down in history, and the greats, have gone on. Like you've heard today, Sugar Ray Leonard, boxed Hagler and beat him. My favourite fighter of all time, Sugar Ray Robinson, has done that. And to be a great fighter, you've got to do great things. And for me, the welterweight, to step up with the most fearless, fighter in the world, I believe, the #1 pound for pound fighter in Golovkin, to take this fight, This is going to be a very, very hard fight. I've got to make sure that everything is spot on in training. We've got to do everything right. But anything short of that, I'm not going to come up with the goods. So we're going to put the hard work in the training. We're going to go through hell in this training camp. But that's what you need. That's what you need to do to reach greatness. When this fight got proposed to me, I jumped at it, because that's what I want to do. I want to give back to the fans. They pay our wages, and I want to give them the best fights out there. And I don't think in world boxing you get a bigger and better fight than Brook versus Golovkin. So, my work's going to be cut out, but I'm ready for that challenge, and I'm ready to take this September 10th. Thank you.
Just a testament to what Eddie had said. Abel and I were there when Kell beat Sean Porter in Carson, California, and who I rated at the time Sean Porter to be the best welterweight. So for Kell Brook to come over to the United States and take away his title in the fashion that he did, you really have to give him a lot of credit. And it just shows the wherewithal, not only winning that fight, but stepping up to take this fight against Gennady Golovkin, who's at the top of many pound-for-pound lists. When he fought here in New York in Madison Square Garden last October, he won the IBF title from David Lemieux, one of the biggest punchers in the middleweight division. His last fight at the Los Angeles Forum, he knocked out Dominic Wade, his mandatory contender, in 2 rounds. The key thing about both of those fights is he sold out both arenas. It's a maximum capacity here at MSG. I'd like to acknowledge Sal Federico and Joanne Esposito, who are both here representing MSG. And he also sold out the Forum, which hasn't been done in a number of years. I think since 1970 the Forum hasn't been sold out. So here you have a young man from Kazakhstan selling out the biggest arenas in America, and there's something there. It's that Mike Tyson effect. He's got 22 knockouts in a row. He's a very likable guy, and he's someone that people and boxing fans like to cheer for. If everything goes the way Eddie Hearn is saying, by tomorrow it'll be his 3rd sold-out arena in 3 major cities in 2 countries. So it doesn't get any bigger than that when it comes to marketability, and you couldn't ask for a nicer guy or a better representative of the sport of boxing than either Kell Brook or Gennady Golovkin. And that's really what adds to this promotion. Is it's all about the sport, and whoever's the better man on that night is going to be the middleweight champion of the world. So with that, I'd like to bring up Gennady Triple G Golovkin.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very happy to come back to New York City. I love this city. And first of all, I want to tell thanks for my support, for my attention, Madison Square Garden, Jordan family, promotions, of course, teams. You know, this big day, September 10th is the biggest day for me. Just a couple of days ago, my promoter, Tom Loeffler, he told me, you know, G, and Kell Brook, he won't fight with you. I said, wow, it's big news for me, because I know this guy, he's a very good fighter, you know, very strong. He's best his division. Right now, I'm very excited. I understand the situation. Right now, this is the biggest test for me and biggest fight. Please welcome September 10 to TV, to watch TV, or London. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. With that, we're going to bring up both fighters here for a pose-off, and then what we'll do is we'll have both fighters stay at the head table here, and then they can answer the media questions and do video interviews afterwards. So we'll do the pose first, and then we'll answer the questions on one-on-ones.
Just